Welcome back to another edition of State of Play, where today I am joined by the coach of the Mildura Heat, Mahaela Jackson. Mahaela, welcome to the studio. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you very much. Nice to be here.
And obviously it's been a pretty good start to your first season in charge of the Mildura Heat side. 12 wins on the trot to start the season, a couple of losses in recent weeks, but it must be pretty nice being back in Mildura for one, and also being part of a team that's performing well.
Yeah, absolutely. It's nice to be back in Mildura, absolutely. Settled in. I've been back since January last year, so I was going to ease back into basketball, but ended up jumping straight in with the junior heat and one of the local sides, and now obviously the senior heat men. And it's been great being part of that program, to be honest. It's obviously good when you grab 12 wins to start with, but there's still always stuff to work on, and we haven't really focused on win after win after win. It's just been how we're progressing, what do we need to work on, and keep building and getting better throughout the season.
You've made a bit of history of being the first female coach to take the reins of the Mildura Heat men's side. What was that like as an appointment, and I guess what was the reaction of local people here, and do you feel comfortable enough in that role now that you're about 6 months in?
Yeah, look, it's an honour to have people have that confidence in me to appoint me to that position. It's definitely a big change for the program, but everybody's gotten on board. I've got some great backing, some great support around me, and most importantly for the guys, it's they've responded well. It hasn't been an issue, not that I expected one, but you just never know. They've responded well, and we're travelling okay. So 6 months in, me being female, to be honest, it's absolutely irrelevant. I'm the coach, they're the players. We all speak basketball, so that's the way it goes. So that's been working.
As coach this year, it seems like you've got a bit of a focus on providing an even spread of contributors with the team. There's a lot of the younger guys who have spent some more time on the court now coming from the bench. Is that a bit of a mantra that you've been putting forward? Is that just sort of how things have eventuated?
Oh no, look, I think we're very fortunate with the roster that we've ended up with. We've got a 15-man roster, and within that we've got some quality players, and we're very fortunate that we don't have to run one or two players and rely on them for the points and that sort of thing to get us over the line. We're able to rotate the players like Noah Valentich, who's increased his minutes this season, and he's really growing into that role. He's doing really well. And players like Noah who are coming through, and they are developing, and we have to think about as a program as well, developing those players, getting some court time. It's all well and good to train, but that match experience is important for development as well.
Obviously in past years, someone like a Calvin Henry has played the majority of minutes. Now is down to, obviously before his injury, down to about half an hour or so a game, and then you've got your imports like Jake Petway coming in as well to lighten the load a little bit. Do you think that's been a big reason behind your great start to the season?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Calvin is a quality player and he demands a lot of attention on the court, but you bring the likes of Jacob in, then other teams have to focus on him as well. So it does free up Kelvin a little bit to explore his game a little bit more, which is great for Kelvin because, getting bogged down in those double teams all the time, he has to really work hard. But because they have to make that adjustment for the extra player, has freed that up. So they're working really well together. They complement each other really well.
Towards the run home, towards the playoffs now, is there any areas in particular that you think would be a focus from yourself from the coaching perspective and perhaps from the guys on court, I guess for improvement's sake and also for, to continue to build on their strengths? Yeah,
absolutely. We are getting through games and we are 12-3, which by any other standard, it is successful. It's a successful season so far. Do we have areas of improvement? Absolutely. I don't think our execution has, even when we are winning, the bonus for us is we can dig ourselves out when we're not playing our best. Yeah. But our execution needs to be better, at both ends of the floor, and that's going to be the focus for the second half of the season. Is that consistent execution of our offensive sets and staying and trusting our offensive sets and doing the little things on defence that matter. They're not the big shiny things, but they are the ones the things that win the game. So as we head into the second half of the season, the pressure becomes more. The teams know a lot of what we're running. They scout us a lot more. So we have to be on game with our execution to get through.
And finally, before I let you go today, Mahaela, has it been spoken about amongst yourself and the playing group about playoffs as yet? Have you looked that far ahead, or is it still just the 1 week at a time at the moment?
Oh, look, it's always, with the calibre of roster that we have on paper, realistically, we should be there. But it's about, as you said, that week to week, continuing to build, focusing on what we need to do. I think the last couple of weeks have proved that we nothing is for granted. We can't. Not that the guys do, but we can't relax because we're playing a team that's lower on the ladder. We have to keep focusing on getting better, because we're going to get everybody's best, and that's a compliment, but it's also a huge challenge. So week to week for now, and we'll think about the end of the season once we get a bit closer.
Well, all the best for the rest of the season, Mahaela, and thank you very much for joining us today.
Thanks, Mitch.
And make sure you stay tuned to MilduraWeekly.com.au for more videos.